Do you keep getting hurt in dysfunctional relationships with people that you care about? In the last video, I gave you 3 tips to stop yourself feeling hurt real time when a situation is happening. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 more tips for after the event to turn your pain into power, to get permanent closure for yourself, to feel free no matter how badly someone has hurt you, and to ultimately not give a f***. When it comes to relationships, in an ideal world, we would keep an open mind towards people growing and changing. We would not treat someone the same that we did 10 or 20 years ago. We would be generous in listening to them with genuine interest, but doing that would mean acknowledging their growth and success. In an ideal world, we would take responsibility for our actions and think nothing of setting things right with a heartfelt apology. People have expectations of how others should be and how they should treat us. And if you fall short, this becomes a disappointment leading to anger or some other emotion that leads to punishing their failure with hurtful words and actions. In an ideal world, we would be willing to think well of others, to not let past upsets, pride, jealousy, anger, and so on get in the way. But that's only possible when someone dives deep to resolve their own emotional issues and emerges all the stronger and wiser. And mostly people would much rather blame others for their relationships not working than be accountable for their own actions. So what ends up happening in ordinary relationships is that people make huge assumptions about other people's motivations, but assumptions based on conclusions reached by their perspectives that are colored by unfulfilled expectations, flawed conclusions based on emotional or irrational reasoning. So when someone hurts you, I can get that you might want to hurt them in return. But as Mr. Miyagi used to say, if you're looking for revenge, you can start by digging 2 graves.
How's revenge?
Daniel-san, you look revenge that way. Start by digging 2 grave.
Besides, revenge is for losers. It's a dark, dead-end tunnel where the light refuses to shine. So, what to do then when you keep being hurt by unconscious, dysfunctional, toxic behavior? From my own journey, I can tell you that it takes a hell of a lot of grit and guts to turn your pain into power. It takes commitment to having your life work. There are a number of things that I've been practicing for over the last 25 years or so to heal my own painful wounds so that I can have a wholesome relationship with my own self. In my last video, I shared 3 tips to stop letting people hurt you. If you're grappling with being badly hurt, what I'm about to share with you will work just as well for you to bring completion and peace as it did for me. It'll transform how you approach relationships altogether. So, here come the tips. Tip 1. Understand that thoughts, feelings, and emotions are temporary. Like drifting clouds in the sky, thoughts, feelings, and emotions are also transient. They're fleeting. They need not have power over you permanently. Hurt becomes a deep scar only when you grant it undue significance. The more you hold on to it, think about it, give it energy, the more you make it mean, the more your hurt becomes the truth. When the feelings of hurt keep persisting, then there's absolutely no self-compassion in denying or suppressing them, because strong feelings of hurt buried in the subconscious only grow to become backseat drivers of our future actions. So be present to what you feel for sure, and stay with it for a given period of time, whether it's 90 seconds at a time or 90 days. While it takes willingness and work on your part to move through them, it's really worth doing. So start by first naming your emotion. Get really clear about what the specific flavor of hurt it is that you feel. It might be helpful to use an emotion wheel to get that granular level of clarity. Secondly, feel it. Feel it, feel it, feel it. To feel it is to accept it, because only when you accept something the way it is, only then can you begin to transform it. Thirdly, let it go. No matter how real it is, be willing to part with your story. And I should know, I wrote a flipping trilogy. Let go of each and every one of your justifications for how valid your pain is. If it's casting dark clouds over your life, it's just not worth hanging on to. Like monsoon clouds that gather and shed their load as torrential rain, or clouds that simply float on away, practice letting go of the hurt, however deep the pain. And to do this with a little bit more ease, check out a guided meditation on my website called Drifting Clouds, Wandering Thoughts. Make a conscious choice to have peace as the foundation for your life. The practices that I'm talking about will make you less hookable when people kick off with their drama around you. You might find it useful to watch another video that I've made on how to deal effectively with people dumping their stress and frustration on you. Tip 2. Take responsibility for your actions. Ask yourself, was there something that I could have done differently? Sometimes we step into landmines of other people's upset without intending to, because we didn't read their upset, stress, anger, grief, or whatever it might be well enough, and we end up with miscommunications. Obviously, it's ideal if you can have a one-to-one with them and talk about what's happened, but that's not always going to happen. At least then, trying to see things from their perspective might give you some clues as to why they might have reacted aggressively towards you, why they might have said and done something that's now left you in a state of hurt. When you get a glimpse of their perspective, it doesn't necessarily mean that their behavior is justified, but at least it will help you to make sense of what might have triggered them. But whatever is going on for them, don't let what's happening for them become the noise in your head. Just getting a perspective into their world, their frame of mind, places you in a position of strength to arrive at a balanced conclusion of whether you should indulge yourself in continuing to feel hurt. If there is something that you can do to take responsibility for and perhaps even apologize, then you're better placed to do so. For example, you made what for you was an innocent joke, but they heard it as a criticism or a negative personal comment. In their frame of mind, it landed as a put down or even as an attack, which had them react aggressively towards you, leaving you in a state of hurt. So what taking responsibility for yourself does is to help you to restore yourself to a state of inner peace and balance. Tip 3. Let go of expectations. Be aware that we project expectations onto people. Expectations bind you. They keep you from being free. Expectations breed transactional relationships and attachments that give merely the mirage of being in an authentic relationships, where in reality, you're enacting a binding contract of some sort. Things are good when your expectations are met, but when they're not, you experience disappointment, anger, hurt, and so on. So every time you feel hurt, have compassion for yourself, to deep dive into it and to have it be complete for yourself so that you're not going to be stuck with it for the rest of your life. Practice withdrawing your expectations from those who simply cannot or will not fulfill on what you would like from them. Becoming aware of expectations that other people have of you and that you have of others gives you the access to letting go of those expectations, to be as you are and to let people be as they are. This is real freedom. Not binding people in expectations create the space for authentic relationships that are really worth nurturing. To summarize the 3 things that you can do to move on and to be at peace with yourself, they are: understand that your thoughts and feelings and emotions are transient and they need not impact you permanently. Secondly, take responsibility for your own actions. Owning your actions sets you free. Thirdly, let go of expectations. And now for the bonus tip. When all else fails, know when to press the it button. So you've given a particular relationship everything that you've got. For years, you've tried different things, but nothing seems to work. Sometimes we just need to step away and let go of relationships that might be one-sided, or relationships that are abusive, or relationships that are toxic. Know when it's time to call it a day and to press the it button. And here's the golden rule. Practice, practice, practice these 3 things to find peace and freedom from within yourself, because you are really not your body, you are not your mind, you're not your thoughts, and you're not your feelings. Remember, there's a part of you that's eternal, untouchable by feelings and emotions. It's not affected by the nonsense we accumulate through human experience. This is Atman, said the philosopher sages of ancient India, and that's the real you, the inner being that's inherently free and centered in peace. That's the real you. The rest is malleable in your hands. I hope you got value from this video, and if you've enjoyed it, do give me a thumbs up and please share it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. And also download some free gifts from my website, smitajoshi.com. And I will see you in the next video.